The white oppressors don't want intelligent, critical thinking black populations. They instead only want black populations that are just smart enough to work, pay taxes, and fight within their unjust wars. But they want black populations to be sheep-minded so that they can make us believe whatever they want us to believe. This includes making us believe things that even literally insults our own intelligence. Therefore, millions of our people now makes the most ridiculous claims while wearing a straight face, thus being totally clueless of just how ridiculous some of our claims are, such as being made to believe the false claim that we made the N-word ours and that using it now ridiculously empowers us. This is absolutely untrue. It was actually, in fact, white social engineering scientists and white propagandists that manipulated us to collectively call ourselves by the N-word through negative media social engineering. You see, those who write a people's narratives and control a people's media images literally controls their culture, because people's behaviors aligns with the narrative about themselves that they've accepted as being true. And people also often imitates and becomes those derogatory media depictions of their group that they've accepted as being their true reality. Therefore, because white oppressive forces writes all of our narratives and controls all of our mainstream media images, they covertly negatively steer our culture while misleading us to believe that we're negatively steering ourselves. It was by creating the false narrative that we made the N-word ours, and by hiring black actors to repeatedly use the N-word within those white-produced black exploitation films beginning during the late 60s, that white oppressive forces first began socially engineering us to call ourselves by the N-word. This isn't scapegoating, it's the absolute truth. And no, using the N-word does not empower us. Here's the truth about the N-word. Words put a spell upon the subconscious mind. We function based upon the words that we repeatedly call ourselves. This is why men that routinely call themselves thugs are more likely to engage in a fight than to avoid one. It's also why women that proclaim themselves as being bitches often become stubbornly unreasonable. Words affect how we function. This is a psychological phenomenon that white social scientists have thoroughly researched. Repeatedly calling ourselves by the N-word actually conditions us to perceive ourselves through a false inherent inferior identity that aids the white oppressors in maintaining their social dominance and social capital over us. Then, to keep us functioning under this negative psychological spell cast by the N-word, every couple of decades or so, white propagandists then spreads sound-alike words into the black communities. Sound-like words with different spellings such as N-I-G-G-A and N-E-G-U-S. These words are actually being used to keep us functioning under the negative spell cast by the original N-word, because the subconscious mind does not see the different spelling. The white oppressors also have millions of us believing that a Bible that was in fact written by ungodly, immoral Romans that routinely engage in massive orgies, wife swapping, and death sports ridiculously contains the true words of God. These noted facts, combined with the additional fact that the Bible strongly supports the ungodly practice of slavery, totally disqualifies it from truly containing the words of God. And then to further dumb down our collective minds, although the Bible was in fact brutally beaten into submission within the blood-soaked minds of our enslaved ancestors, they've got millions of our people believing that it will now set us free. They've literally got millions of our people believing many things that literally insults our own intelligence. We also now have millions of us that are insisting that we're being controlled by the silly Willie Lynch myth. But Willie Lynch never existed. The literature was actually written in the year 1970 by Dr. Akina Ashanti. He described those conditions based upon what he witnessed during contemporary times. This is why it appears so accurate. This is also why when experts examined the letter, they found it contained modern words that are not consistent with its presented 1700 date. Furthermore, the Willie Lynch myth presents what would in fact be the least plausible scenario and least effective method used for controlling generations of billions of people. It's simply not how true brainwashing works. Not at all. When we assign our plight and condition onto works of fiction, we are in fact making damn fools of ourselves. Those believing that our problem is Willie Lynch, minds have been dumbed down and distracted from the truth. Here's the truth. A value system that upholds, serves, and protects the system of white supremacy is being subliminally programmed into our collective minds unrelentingly. Subliminal programming are messages that are designed to bypass the conscious mind but becomes embedded into the subconscious mind. This subliminally controlling the target audience. They're hidden within propaganda campaigns that are systematically fed to the public. This notice subliminal programming exists within the whitewash miseducation we're taught, within all false white exalting societal narratives that we constantly receive, and it's even embedded within movies and TV shows while we think we're merely being entertained. Through those movies and TV shows constantly depicting Caucasians as being heroes and saviors, righting all wrongs, they've literally given themselves an accurate, favorable image makeover within the minds of millions of us. Therefore, the villains throughout history are now more often perceived as being the heroes. And history's most unethical and most immoral group now appears as being the group possessing the highest morals and ethical standard. And nowadays, if any of us speak the truth about them, they gaslight us by falsely accusing us as being racist towards them. This is the truth of our plight and condition. It is, to summarize, it's called information warfare. The white society controls all the information, and our society functions based upon the information that are fed into a society. They feed white exalting narratives into our society, and our society conforms to those false narratives, thus benefiting the system of white supremacy. It is time to elevate our minds above believing in dumb shit. And they've got people so brainwashed that those of us who intelligently present the truth literally offends millions. I will not be silenced in the face of ignorance when ignorance would keep our peoples mentally enslaved. It's time to learn the truth, learn the social sciences. You have to elevate your mind above a biblical fairy tale, a silly slave syndrome myth. We never made the N-word ours. There are social sciences that are being deployed against us for maintaining white social dominance. It's time to wake the hell up. One love and peace.